Hello everyone, nice to meet you again. This is the second episode of our scooter project that we've been working on. So in the previous episode, as you saw, we kind of ripped it off and saw the components together, and we had some ideas on how to proceed. This session, actually, we went one step ahead. We connected the throttle. Actually, we want to connect that, and we want to see what happens with that, and also face the challenges that will come up with it. I'm with Andre. That's going to proceed with the mechanical side of this and test it, and also check all the components and report us how we can proceed further.
Yes, thanks. Hi everyone, we have our scooter here again. So today we're going to be a little bit closer to independent ride, yeah? The last time we used our laptop, the online software to control the board, the speed, the torque control, we tried everything. So now we're going to use a real throttle that we have here. The regular one you can buy on Amazon. We have our Solo Uno, the controller you also can buy online from our website. We have the power supply, some tools, some oscilloscope here, and also will come the laptop, and we are going to connect everything except battery so far. So we are going to be one step closer to the ride and using of our scooter on the street. Let's do it!
Okay, here we see 5 volts, ground, and the control input. Here we will connect throttle. So now we connect the board Solo Uno to the motor wheel, to the Hall sensor, and also we'll use and try this throttle we ordered from Amazon. I didn't take the original so far, but we have the same one here. Here is the throttle. It's like the basic one, usual. Here we have power supply for the throttle, plus, minus, and the reference, the control output. So we have basic input in our Solo controller here, and we can connect it directly to the board. So let's see how it works with the original motor hub. So here we have input connector. On the terminal here we have ground, we have plus 5 volts, and ST, which is reference input, and we will use this. Okay, so now we go to motion terminal, and here we need to connect controller. Okay, now it's connected, and now we need to go to analog mode. to be able controlling the system from the throttle. So we have connected our board to motion terminal and changed the mode to the analog one here. And now we see that the wheels started rotating. And we have here throttle connected to the board. And I will try to increase the speed now. Let's check. So, okay. As we see, the speed is increasing. And if I stop, like, and just release the throttle, then the board is blocked by our power supply. And we need to describe why it is like that. So we are supplying by 24 volts now. Original battery has 36. But let's see what is going on when we increase the speed and release the throttle.
Okay, so basically what's happening is right now Solo is in speed mode, and it's controlling the speed of the wheel. So when I increase the speed with using the throttle and I release it suddenly, the regenerative energy goes back to the supply. And there we have a supply, we don't have a battery, so it cannot absorb the energy. And right now we don't have mounted the brake on Solo to dissipate this extra energy that we will talk about it later on in this video. That's why the voltage on the supply rises. So if I can repeat the story for you. So I try to slowly increase the speed and release. Now nothing happened. I'll go higher speed. You can see the voltage went all the way to 26 volt. If I go even, it went to 30 volt. And this is actually the recuperation energy or the regenerative energy that causes the battery to be charged. So if you put a low impedance battery there, it's gonna charge the battery. Now to fix the problem, we have multiple solutions that we're gonna talk about. So as now we're operating in analog mode, the on Solo Uno, which is this device that you can see here, some properties of analog will be selected through the piano switch. For example, the motor type will be selected through the first two pins. The torque or speed mode will be selected through pin number 4. And closed loop or open loop, which is common among all the operations, will be selected through pin number 5. However, in a speed mode, we have two potentiometers here on Solo Uno that you can tune the gains of the speed controller, KP and KI gains. Okay, right now I'm going to explain a little bit about why the motor is actually rotating while the throttle is not actually having any motion or any, let's say, value on it. The main reason is the offset that exists on the output of this throttle or these type of throttles that we found out, which Andrei will gonna demonstrate better using an oscilloscope to you later on. But this offset is big enough to kind of create a motion for Solo at the input of the analog input. For instance, now, based on the resolution of the analog input that we set on the S/T input, you can see the motor is actually rotating with a speed around 50 RPM. And this is is very high. I mean, it's not an acceptable thing. And what we will do is eliminating this offset in the firmware of Solo by kind of cutting it out and trying to have zero speed at the zero of the throttle. Okay, now actually let's see the effect of this offset in torque mode. So basically, as I'm in analog mode and I put the piano switch number 4 up and I go to torque mode, you see the motor goes all the way to the max speed or nominal speed of it at 24 volt, which is around 400 RPM here. And now to understand the effect of the offset, if I grab the shaft of the motor, so we can see what is actually the torque in terms of amps. So after grabbing the motor, you can see I'm having around 4 amps into the motor. That if we multiply it by the torque constant of the motor, it's gonna give us a certain amount of torque on the shaft of the motor that is just the effect of the offset.
So here we have connected oscilloscope with the reference to the ground, and also I can measure the offset of the throttle that we have here. Okay, so we can see clearly here. Okay, so here is the reference that we have. And how it works when we press the throttle. Okay. This is why we had this initial rotation on our motor wheel on the scooter. Okay, so let's check what we did now. We adjusted the firmware and kind of eliminated this problem with zero input. So before, zero input for our board was a 0 volt. Now it is 1 volt. So we have lower resolution, but possibility to launch the scooter using only our solo board. So let's try. Switch on the board. Now we have the same throttle as you see. The voltage is 24. And we have now no movement of the wheel. So if we start, we see from 0 to maximum it works. Again, if I release the throttle, the voltage will jump up and it will block the power supply. So with the battery we will not have such a problem. Yeah, up to 50 volts actually. Okay, so here is our working place. Today we tried connect throttle to Solo Uno and launch it from the power supply on our desk. The next video will be about how to launch it using the battery. Probably we'll also use the original throttle, which is here. We need to disassemble it. And we will be one step closer to ride the scooter on the street. Stay tuned, subscribe. There will be much of interesting the next time.